My vocation, I've taken the lid off the top of it, is to see the planetary awakening connecting on the noosphere, just like Teilhard saw, to be what we consider to be the purpose of this church, a planetary awakening in love through a unique self-symphony. I'm taking that as my goal. And then when I do that, if you do that as members of this church, what is your particular part? Mine might be telling the story and giving the invitation.
I'm so delighted to be with you today at One Mountain, Many Paths. And today we continue our exciting summer program by sharing our practices and our stories of living in this revolution inspired by Dr. Marc Gafni and Barbara Marx Hubbard. My name is Jamie Long, and I'm so thrilled to present to you today with my beloved partner, Suzette Mesa. We're both in the One Mountain production team together with others. To begin, let me just share a little bit of my background. I have long loved science, and about 10 years ago, I encountered the New Universe story in which I literally fell in love with the cosmos as evolution in 13.8 billion years of emergence. And then in 2019, I found the online Evolutionary Church by Barbara Marx Hubbard and Dr. Marc Gafni. And I joined the online live program called The 11th Hour with Dr. Marc and Barbara. And in 2020, I wrote my first outrageous love letter in the in Christina Tahel's Monday writing group, which blew my heart open with outrageous acts of love. And so within a few months, One Mountain's need for video editing became my complete allurement. And now I study privately with Dr. Marc, and I help produce this weekly broadcast. And so now I would like to set an intention for today and open a heart space where we can begin to tell our stories of allurement. First, let's just relax together. Please, I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Just notice where you are at this moment. And I ask 3 questions. Who are we? Where are we? And what are we to do? These 3 questions are the great doorways to cosmoerotic humanism as articulated by Dr. Marc Gafni. And rather than respond directly, I'm gently inviting us to play in this field of these 3 great questions, these questions which orient us in the cosmos, these questions which open up to the new story of first principles and first values. This new story of 13.8 billion years is the story of allurement, which has changed my life. Can you open your heart to the new universe story? Can you open your heart to the questions? Who are we? Where are we? What are we to do? Now let me invite our intention with a guided visualization. So please find a relaxed position, and I'll ask you to use your imagination with me. So please close your eyes. And now picture in your mind's eye a beautiful 5-year-old girl today. Pick any child that you may know, or even a child that you imagine. Please see her face as clearly as you can. And we give this child's name Hope. Please visualize this 5-year-old child, Hope. And perhaps she's laughing, or she's dancing, or she's crying or sleeping. Can you notice what color is her hair? So let's rest with hope in our mind's eye. And now, let's take hope on a journey to the future. So using our imagination, please, let's imagine 5-year-old Hope getting older, and we're going to travel with her through her life. So slowly, 5-year-old is getting older. Imagine Hope is now 10 years old. How is she changing? What does she look like? Slowly getting older with me. Now she's in high school. Notice as she turns 18 years old. Can you see her? She's a young adult, filled with dreams and visions. Now, let's continue our journey. Let's move into Hope's 20s. She's beginning her life. Where is she? What kind of vocation is Hope doing 20 years from now? Feel this power of imagination we have. We're going on. Let's continue with Hope. Now Hope moves older, past her 20s, moving into her 30s. What kind of relationships does she have? Who does she love? And sitting with her, she moves on, getting older. She moves into her mid-40s. How is she wrestling with who she is? And how is she making sense of her life? And what is the world around her like? So please imagine as Hope going through her life. Let's continue. Now Hope is moving into her 50s. What does Hope look like 50 years from now? We're traveling through her life and perhaps glimpse at the type of world she's living in. And we'll keep going. Let's move into her 60s. Maybe she has gray hair. Can you see Hope's face? Can you see her living her life? We're almost done. Continue. She's in her 70s, enjoying the family around her. And now she finally arrives at the age of 83 years old. The year is 2100 at the end of this century. And stop. She's 83 years old. And so please, let's spend some time. Let's look in her face. What is the life of Hope in 2100? You've seen her live her entire life. And now take this moment. I invite you maybe to smile at her, to say hello. Can you imagine the world in 2100? What kind of planet did we leave for Hope in the year 2100? Can you feel into her world? And now I gently invite us. It's time for our goodbyes. I'm giving her a hug. And now it's time to use this powerful imagination. Let's come back into our world in 2022. Feel your feet on the ground, and you may open your eyes again. Thank you. And how does that feel for you? What comes up for you, imagining these lives living into the future? Thank you. For me, a large part of my journey in evolution is precisely this connection to the future and into the past. And so, as we set our intention together and we get ready to read the Evolutionary Love Code, I want to set the intention to feel that urgent call by the future. For me, the intention to feel the new universe story as a love story in which I participate. I feel the joy of participating in the field of evolutionary love. And as outrageous lovers, we feel called by the future to become vocationally aroused, and we commit our outrageous acts of love for hope. And so I hand my word now to David to read our Evolutionary Love Code for today.
Thank you, Jamie. Wow, it's like 2100. It seems so far away until I imagine hope, right? It's like suddenly it's like, oh, it's actually here. And it's like hard to even believe that that time will come sooner than we realize. So friends, I'm about to resonate the code, which is going to actually bring us into this evolutionary impulse that Jamie's inviting us to lean into. So here's this week's evolutionary love code. Homo Amor is vocationally aroused to commit outrageous acts of love. They commit outrageous acts of love that are a function of their unique self. Outrageous acts of love are almost always that which we can get away with not doing. An outrageous act of love might be smiling when we want to withhold, or opening our heart when it's more comfortable to keep it closed. An outrageous act of love might be changing the tone of your voice. It might be sending a text with an overflowing heart. It might be taking a stand when we can get away with not taking a stand. Outrageous acts of love are when we give ourselves outrageously beyond our traumas and our rackets and our issues and our patterns. With true outrageous acts of love, we can always rationalize to ourselves why we don't have to do them. Genuine outrageous acts of love are the fabric of the intimate universe, realizing its omega point as you, as me, as us. What moves us to commit outrageous acts of love is evolution itself, Goddess herself, she. And with that, I turn my word back to you, Jamie.
Thank you, David. This evolutionary love code is about vocational arousal and outrageous acts of love. And so the call of the future is exactly that, vocational arousal for me. As I joined this band of outrageous lovers at One Mountain Mini Pass, I'm vocationally aroused with the joy of feeling the universe story as a love story. And what an incredible feeling to step into this unique self-symphony at One Mountain Mini Pass. When you commit outrageous acts of love, it's not work. And so I want to share with you and give you a small taste of our symphony behind the scenes at One Mountain Mini Paths. And so every Sunday after the broadcast, I send the raw video footage of the basic episode format to our lovely video team, and then magic happens. Our co-executive producer, Jacqueline Clark, she watches the hour-long video and she sends timestamps and gorgeous feedback about the episode. And so I want to notice that eros is intimacy in which we can feel our partners. And even though Jacqueline is in the United Kingdom and I'm in the United States, I'm feeling Jacqueline's attention every moment I touch the videos. Her attention showers me with love, and it's hard to describe the way I feel being held. And I feel this similar kind of allurement, this love attention from our other video team members, Ujis and Krista and Wanda, and we create videos the whole week. And we send replay emails to everyone at One Mountain. And I also, in another group of gorgeous intimacy with Christina and David, as we do a Dharma co-study group on Saturdays, we co-create together this gorgeous group of online seekers and lovers online, studying the Dharma together. For me, this is Unique Self Symphony. It's the tangible presence of outrageous love. So now I would like to hand a few minutes on this topic about vocational arousal of Unique Self Symphony to our co-founder of Evolutionary Church and of One Mountain Many Paths, Barbara Marx Hubbard. She embodied more than almost anyone I know this sense of calling from the future with her wild, wild enthusiasm. We miss Barbara desperately, and we hold her presence dearly since her passing. So it is with great, great pleasure now we play this very short clip from 2017 of Barbara Marx Hubbard talking about vocational arousal and Unique Self Symphony.
Think, where are you going that's new vocationally? What is calling to you, to me, to Mark, Lisa, to the entire church, facing a planetary crisis of devolution in our lifetime, which is even much more than we thought the atomic bomb was, it's all these other things, and facing this incredible potential of being the next stage of evolution internally as well as externally through vocation. So everybody's calling from within, everybody's impulse is new, vocational, because that you're in the next turn on the spiral. So let's all just take a moment. I guess that's a phrase I always use. Take a moment to see what is your vocational newness. Not that I've already done this all before, but take the lid off the top of your vocation as part of Homo Universalis, as Homo Amor, facing the devolution of your species or the evolution of your species as you. Let's breathe into it. My vocation, I've taken the lid off the top of it, is to see the planetary awakening connecting on the noosphere, just like Teilhard saw, to be what we consider to be the purpose of this church, a planetary awakening in love through a unique self-symphony. I'm taking that as my goal. And then when I do that, if you do that as members of this church, what is your particular part? Mine might be telling the story and giving the invitation. Yours might be healing your parents. But you're all in the context. Context is everything, as Elizabeth Satora says. So Mark, we're in the context of birthing the new species at a time of radical danger or radical breakthrough. No species has ever had this privilege before, because this is exactly the time. And then the next one is innovations everywhere. And Mark, I've had a real deep insight about the wheel of co-creation. 2.0, and we have not fully done this in the church. Wheel 2.0, if you could imagine the wheel of co-creation, our turn on the spiral, and you're in it. With your unique impulse coming from the heart of the hub of the wheel, as a frequency of the unique self-symphony filling the wheel. Wow. With you and me, and let's say 5 billion people. It has occurred to me that we're all here. I don't mean that everybody on earth is perfectly good and wants to do this, but I mean there's enough of us that are lovers that want to connect to co-create, to make an attractor for planet Earth that we've never had before. So I'm saying that's my vocation, and I feel it's the vocation of the church, and I feel it's the membership of the church, each contributing their own uniqueness through their own incarnation. And then I'm adding to this the use of high technology with love.
The clip is about 3.5 minutes long. So please start the video.
Think, where are you going that's new vocationally? What is calling to you, to me, to Mark, Lisa, to the entire church, facing a planetary crisis of devolution in our lifetime, which is even much more than we thought the atomic bomb was. It's all these other things. And facing this incredible potential of being the next stage of evolution internally as well as externally through vocation. So everybody's calling from within, everybody's impulse is new, vocational, because you're in the next turn on the spiral. So let's all just take a moment. I guess that's a phrase I always use. Take a moment to see what is your vocational newness. Not that I've already done this all before, but take the lid off the top of your vocation as part of Homo Universalis, as Homo Amor, facing the devolution of your species or the evolution of your species as you. Let's breathe into it. My vocation, I've taken the lid off the top of it, is to see the planetary awakening connecting on the noosphere, just like Teilhard saw, to be what we consider to be the purpose of this church, a planetary awakening in love through a unique self-symphony. I'm taking that as my goal. And then when I do that, if you do that as members of this church, what is your particular part? Mine might be telling the story and giving the invitation. Yours might be healing your parents, but you're all in the context. Context is everything, as Elizabeth Satora says. So Mark, we're in the context of birthing the new species at a time of radical danger or radical breakthrough. No species has ever had this privilege before, because this is exactly the time. And then the next one is innovations everywhere. And Mark, I've had a real deep insight about the wheel of co-creation 2.0, and we have not fully done this in the church. Wheel 2.0, if you could imagine the wheel of co-creation, our turn on the spiral, and you're in it. With your unique impulse coming from the heart of the hub of the wheel, as a frequency of the unique self-symphony filling the wheel. Wow. With you and me, and let's say 5 billion people. It has occurred to me that we're all here. I don't mean that everybody on earth is perfectly good and wants to do this, but I mean there's enough of us that are lovers that want to connect to co-create, to make an attractor for planet Earth that we've never had before. So I'm saying that's my vocation, and I feel it's the vocation of the church, and I feel it's the membership of the church, each contributing their own uniqueness through their own incarnation. And then I'm adding to this the use of high technology with love.
Thank you, Barbara. And Barbara is arousing us to take the next step to become Homo Amor. And what I hear from Barbara is a call to vocational newness. She asks, what is calling me and to you and to this entire One Mountain Evolutionary Church? Barbara says that when we know who we are, we can feel our calling. And it goes back to the questions of cosmo-erotic humanism. Who are we? Where are we? And what are we to do? And so now Barbara and Marc wrote this beautiful free ebook online called Vocational Arousal. And I wish to offer to you now a chance to download it. It's a short book. It's available. It'll be available here in the chat box. Thank you, Krista. And also it's available online at Barbara Marx Hubbard's website. And in this ebook, Barbara says, when you get the implications of who you are, a unique self, it changes everything. And so now I leave you with this vocational arousal. And now let's hear the next step in this unique self symphony, what it's like to be a part of this movement. And so I turn my word to Suzette Mesa for how to get involved in this great Da Vinci movement to change the source code of culture in One Mountain, Many Paths.
Thank you, Jamie. And thank you, Barbara Marx Hubbard and Dr. Gafni, for laying the foundation and charting the path for all of us to make a difference in this world by playing our unique instrument in the unique self symphony. So what I want to do today is, it's my pleasure to share with you. Let me do that for you right now. My story. I'm going to give you a little glimpse into the allurement that brought me here, and maybe just as importantly, to provide a glimpse into what enlivens me every day, to do more, to be more. And as Jamie so beautifully has had us all imagine, to provide hope to future generations that are calling us to act now. In this telling, I also want to open up a glimpse into the inside of this magical place that we're on and inspire you to come and play with us, not only because you're desired and needed, but also because this moment in time is so fleeting and the opportunity is so real and poignant. So for me personally, I feel this sense of urgency deep within me. There's this pull from the future and a push from the past that's constantly running through me. And I can feel my grandmothers strengthening me, guiding me, and really helping me to move in the subtle ways that grandmothers do by leading me by their example. I really think that, women have known intuitively that love really can move mountains. And that simple act of giving and receiving love has a huge impact. Knowing that even as we sometimes in our small areas of influence can make a difference. I have a gift to give that no one else can, and that is in my unique obligation and profound joy to give it, even when no one else is looking. I truly feel that there's a bright future that awaits us, knowing if we can act now from that place of love that has kept our families throughout history, we will be able to change the source code of culture and guide our evolutionary trajectory in the right direction. So, how did I get here? What alerted me here? How Do I know I am the right place in the right time? What keeps me going? Like the energizing bunny, so many people often call me. Well, my journey actually began when I took Barbara Mark Hubbard's Evolutionary women's class in 2016. And I went on to study directly with her and Dr. Marc Gafni in the Planetary Awakening Accelerator course the next year. To say that was intriguing and had found my place in the world be another statement. You see, my whole career had been spent on what some would call the bleeding edge. When the internet began, I joined my first startup company and got to see firsthand what it would be like to be part of the crazy people so that embraced new technology and envisioned a new way of doing things that had never been done before. After helping to build 2 more startup companies, you could say I found my calling and bringing new technology to life and helping visionaries ground their ideas into tangible outcomes, and in supporting the mad scientist types by creating dynamic teams that shared a mission and trusted each other and had others' best interests in heart. So you can see I'm in the right place, right? Which brings me to the most provocative Dharma that we are passionately committed to share with the world. I think this picture captures how it feels on the inside to not only be allured to its music, but to let it dance you. It is actually hard to describe how yummy it is to be part of this band of outrageous lovers so filled with joy that even the most mundane tasks feel pleasurable. So since pleasure is so core to the Dharma, let me turn there now. But don't worry, I'm not going to show you some X-rated films right now. In fact, for those of you that know me, you would probably be able to tell that although I love the Dharma and totally embrace the message, I am still struggling with that most evocative word that starts with an F. What I am comfortable with, though, however, is technology and the importance of frameworks, formulas, and practices. It is here that my mind and heart are blown open with the depth of knowledge that is not only rooted in leading edge science, but in the interior sciences. And they're those are the great traditions that have stood the test of time for thousands of years. It never ceases to amaze me, actually, how Dr. Marc Gafni has been able to weave together and brilliantly articulate with great rigor how we all fit into this unique, universal love story that brings so much hope through pleasure. As a mother of 2 young adults, bringing this journey into the real world, the opportunity to share techniques that help them to experience the great pleasure and getting to know who they are, where they are, and what they are doing is profound. So let's take a moment now to reorient ourselves in this crucial understanding of who we are, and let's read this together. So I'm going to ask you all to read it. We won't turn on the videos, but you can read it with me. Who are you? You are an irreducibly unique expression of love intelligence and love beauty that is initiating and animating eros of all that is, that lives in you and through you, that never was, is, or will ever be again, other than through you. And as such, you have a unique gift to give to your unique circle of intimacy and influence that only you can give. So now what I'd like to do is to have you answer a few questions with me. And the first one that we want to ask ourselves is why? So why this? So in this part of the program, it's your turn to step in. We're going to give you some work to do, okay? We're going to share your voice. Well, it's actually not your voice, your chat voice. So to do this exercise, what we'll do is I'm going to use this, what I call my favorite shower technique. And I'll ask you a question. And then what you'll do is you'll type in your answer, but not enter it in yet until I say to go. In this way, we'll all be showered with your loving answers all at once. Okay, ready? So here's your first question. Why do you think getting the Dharma into the world now is so important? So I'm going to watch the chat box and don't put anything in there yet. And what I'm going to do is close that down a bit so it's a little bit of an echo. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 5. And when I hit 5, then what I want you to do is to put your answer in. And I'll read a couple of them. And then we'll move on to the next question. So ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Put it in the chat box. Oh my goodness, it's lighting up. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So just to give you a sense of what's out there for survival's sake, to unite people with the common story, because hatred is rampant, expanding our love energy, because now is the time, because the public discourse is so grim, doom and gloom. Awesome. Thank you. Because we need to hear it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Perfect. You guys are doing great. Okay, next question. Here we go. Why do you think you have been alert here? Okay, again, don't hold all your chats until I actually tell you to go. All right, and we're going to do it all at the same time. So you can start typing, why do you think you have been alert here? Okay, and I'm going to give you a couple extra seconds to really think about this one. But again, on the count of 5, everybody hit enter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. All right, look at that. Woo! It's like lighting up. This is so fun. Okay, good. So some of the answers, because I need to give my gifts and I need to strongly be challenging that too. To awaken the one heart in love and teach its language. Awesome. It's opportunity to play a larger game for everyone. Connection and deep inside. Spirit loves me outrageously. Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you for that. Now there is one more thing that we have to do. Now that we've touched on the who, the when, the what, and the where, there is only one more question that you need to help us ask. And you need to ask yourself, and that is how? So how would you like to join and play with us to create a planetary awakening in love through a unique self-symphony? So again, think about your answer. We're going to give you a few moments to make this the best love shower ever. And I will do our count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. All right, look at this good stuff. Yummy. All right. So 2, let's go to the top here. Social activism and gardening. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Being aware of awareness. Launch the Unique Self Institute. Yes. To love you outrageously. We all play together. You are my family. Yay. Let's make booklets of the 10 festivals we did together. Okay, there's a call out to publish the books with Marc and gorgeous books, The Evolution of Love. Loving participation by following what my soul says. Through love and the talents I am blessed with, by looking for and expressing ways to express love. Awesome. Passionately. Making the online events experience for attendees outrageous. Yay. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciated this time and space to share my story, our stories, and for you to lavishly share your love with us.